Good morning and welcome to Friday Mornings with Carol and Jillian.
Good morning.
Good morning. We were looking for the perfect lighting, so that is why we're sitting so close, in case everyone's wondering. So, sorry about this. So anyway, we'll just get started here. Carol, how was your week and what all happened?
Well, my week was great. As you know, I'm doing Cooking with Carol, and yesterday was the November dinner. And I've come to learn something this week, that I've fallen in love with the idea of planning a dinner, studying about foods for the dinner, the dishes, practicing recipes for the dinner, and it is my passion, and I fall in love with it. And I'm happy to say that I enjoy every minute of that. And I was telling Jill, there's a moment when you sit at the table with your friends and all of that disappears. It's a divine moment when you're with the people that you love, enjoying a meal together. And that was a big part of my week.
Oh, good.
And I would like to share with you a little tip, because we're about style, substance, and tips every day.
I'm all about style today.
Yeah.
That's what I'm about.
I've got my pearls on. Jill's got her t-shirt on.
This
whatever.
this is the real me on Fridays, okay, people?
So
All
pay
right,
attention.
That's right.
At any rate, a cookbook that I recently purchased called Sheet Pan Suppers is really nice, because the whole concept is that you would make a whole dinner in about 45 minutes. And the salmon that I made yesterday was from Sheet Pan Suppers. And then also parchment paper.
You know what? Can you show them a better picture of that? Because I think that's a real good portrait of what it does look like.
Yes. I made salmon and roasted cucumbers yesterday from this.
Yeah.
And also a wonderful sauce that I will have on Facebook. I'll share the recipe that I found somewhere so that you can make that as well.
Now, are you going to put that on ours or on your Cooking with Carol?
I'll put it on our Carol and Jillian.
Okay.
So that they can find it.
Because we should probably put that link to your Cooking with Carol.
Absolutely.
Because it's fascinating. It's really lovely.
Yes.
So anyway, go ahead, Carol.
So that was, and I did want to share parchment paper. Some people don't know, this is like a baker's friend. Anything you make. I bake squash on this. I made pumpkin for our dessert. You don't have any cleanup with it, and you can do this to 425 without any problem.
Your tomatoes.
And my roasted tomatoes that I often make, I use that.
Mm-hmm.
And also I wanted to share a little autumn drink that I made yesterday. Apple cider, hot apple cider, and then a half and half, one shot of Grand Marnier and caramel vodka. It's a warm treat for a cold day. So
and
it
it's kind of chic like you.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Now, I got to drink that on Tuesday evening. She kind of collaborated this for me to be able to taste, because last night I had a commitment. And what was the kind of apple cider that you used?
I used unfiltered apple cider. A recipe called for that. I never used it before. And also I threw in some mulling spices that you can pick up at Hy-Vee or any store.
What was interesting, though, about the taste of it, Carol, was it was tart, but sweet. It was just
a little more complex than just the normal apple cider, maybe.
You almost had to steady it in your mouth. Okay? All right.
That's what we want, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
It was a sexy drink. All right.
Well, that's what we're all about, that.
Exactly. Okay.
So, tell me about your week.
Yeah, I had an exciting week. It was pretty eventful. So there's a lot of changes going on in my life, which I've been waiting for a long time.
Yes, for sure.
So, number one, Tuesday night, Carol and I always try and make a night or two out of the week for each other, because we don't get enough of each other in a week. All right. So anyway, she made this beautiful Persian chicken, which I wasn't expecting at all. So after work, I get here, and there's this lovely meal sitting there. And I always call Carol's house the hub, because people just kind of show up when she cooks. So we had the young kids come, and I love that, because it's just, we
had
learned
a wonderful
things.
dinner. We had a wonderful dinner.
We had some wine and had some beautiful conversation. There's something coming down the road that we're excited to share with you, but you have to stay in tune. And anyway, and another exciting thing for me and my life and my family is we've been looking for homes. So that's kind of exciting for me, and I'm learning a lot about per square foot, what's
and also
worth
what
it,
you
what's
really
not.
like.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because I design a lot of modern right now, But I find that I find home more of a traditional warm feel. So, and another exciting thing is just being able to, in about, 9 years, I've kind of done the holidays alone. So this year is going to be different, and we're really excited to decorate and have family over and sit at the table as something different.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's exciting for me. So anyway, let's get to the topic of this week, and I'll have Carol get started. So
we have been reading a book called Big Magic: Creative Living Beyond Fear. And this is a book written by Elizabeth Gilbert. You might recognize that name. She wrote Eat, Pray, Love. And this is a book for everybody. You don't have to be an artist or a writer or a novelist, because I think we all have some things in our life that we need to push beyond fear.
It's easy reading.
It's lovely reading. I've just about highlighted this whole book when I read it on my Nook. And I did want to share with you a passage. And is there anybody that doesn't have this moment, or fear is your cousin that's hanging around the room with you, that you want to do something new, you want to pursue something new, and fear, unfortunately, guides us too much.
Yeah.
And this is a letter that she wrote in her book, and I think it's applicable to all of us in all walks of our life.
Every single person watching this, it's applicable.
Absolutely.
All right.
Dearest Fear, creativity and I are about to go on a road trip together. I understand you'll be joining us because you always do. I acknowledge that you believe you have an important job to do in my life, and that you take your job very seriously. Apparently, your job is to induce complete panic whenever I'm about to do anything interesting, and I may say you're superb at it. So by all means, keep doing your job if you feel you must, but I will be doing my job on this road trip, which is to work hard and stay focused. And creativity will be doing its job, which is to remain stimulating and inspiring. There's plenty of room in this vehicle for all of us, so make yourself at home, but understand this. Creativity and I are the only ones who'll be making any decisions along the way.
That's right.
I recognize and respect that you're a part of this family, so I'll never exclude you from our activities, but still, your suggestions will never be followed. You're allowed to have a seat, you're allowed to have a voice, but you're not allowed to have a vote. You're not allowed to touch the road maps. You're not allowed to suggest detours. You're not allowed to fiddle with the temperature, and dude, you're not even allowed to touch the radio. But above all else, my dear old familiar friend Fear, you're absolutely forbidden to drive. Then we'll head off together, me and creativity and fear, side by side forever, advancing once more into the terrifying but marvelous terrain of the unknown outcome. And I think that's a wonderful theme and thought for the week, that go off into the terrifying unknown outcome and
follow a dream.
Follow a dream, and and I think acknowledge that fear is your cousin that hangs around with you whether you want him to or not. And that it is possible to go beyond that and to push beyond that and to do new things and explore new dreams, or maybe just relax and enjoy the things in your life and the passions in your life that are important to you. So that's kind of my thought.
Carol and I were discussing, because I think there's a lot of different talk that we could have on this, and I had just a couple of different examples. One is I'm passionate about the things I love. So that can come off in several different ways. But anyway, my sister and I were two different people. We love each other. I mean, we protected each other. We're family. However, she's very straight-laced, follow the rules, okay? The recipe. Like, I just get my own recipe and throw in the stuff. And it's good, okay? So anyway, so anything that I would kind of, and I don't say veer off track, but would feel a little bit, what's the word to her? Nerve-wracking, or just not in her way of thinking.
Sure.
It's not that she meant to condemn, but it was like, no, you have to go back to this. This isn't right. However, later in life now, even like in the last 3 years actually, she's really actually looked at me and said, that's why we love you so much, is because of that creativity. Right. And I never once, well, maybe there's once or twice, but I feel like I never, even with that side of me where people were a little like, Jill, really? you know what? I've never regretted going out on the limb and reaching those dreams.
Right.
Because if I hadn't, I'd be in misery.
Yes.
I mean, those dreams were important to me, and if I hadn't tried, I'd rather fail trying than not try at all.
Right.
So.
And I think one of the things that Jill and I talked about was waking up to your life. And I think it's horrible if somebody has a Monday through Friday existence where they can't wait for Friday because they absolutely hate every other minute of their life. And I think that a little bit of conscious awareness can change that. Doesn't mean you have to quit your job and go to Peru like Elizabeth Gilbert did. But you can find joy in a lot of different things. And a quote that she had that I think is kind of a wake-up call to all of us that she had in the book. She said, "Your soul has been waiting for you to wake up to your existence for years." Isn't that wonderful?
Say it again, because we love that.
Your soul has been waiting for you to wake up to your existence for years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Who cares what anybody else thinks, for real?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what? The people who love you will stand next to you, and all those other guys, they can go sulk in the corner. That's how I feel.
Yeah. It's funny, in this book she talks about the fact that really nobody cares what you're doing that much, so get over yourself and enjoy your life. And I thought, boy, if that isn't a thought for a day, I don't know what is.
Well, and I'll tell you a good example of that is when I feel like roping, I go get Carol's little snow scraper. Okay?
We must take a picture of this.
Yeah.
This is rich. Yeah.
And I stick it in the middle of her front yard, and I rope a snow scraper. Okay? So you know what? That might come off a little eccentric, but I like doing it, and I do not care what anyone else thinks. So
that works.
Okay, so I have a tip for the week that everybody needs to be made aware of. Okay, when you get a little older, you get these sunspots, right? Well, you probably don't because you have perfect skin. So anyway.
Hard to say. I just know how to do my makeup right.
Oh, brother. She could not wear makeup and look like a model. Anyway, so I was actually at Ulta looking for some really expensive stuff, and I thought, you know what, I'm sick of buying $50 cover-up. So the lady there says to me, go to Target or Walmart. It's called Hard Candy Camouflage. Okay? It covers up tattoos if you want it to. It covers up just anything. I have one right there. You can't see it. And it cost me $1.50.
That's a good tip.
I think that's huge.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's your tip?
The
parchment paper.
I've already done my tip of the day. Parchment
think
paper.
Of a tip.
Yeah, I'm like, I did that already.
All right, well, I feel like we've probably covered it all for this week.
I think so.
And we just want to wish you all a lovely weekend again, and thank you for visiting with us on Friday Mornings with Carol and Jillian.
Have a great week.